All right, hello, City College students. My name is Lionel Foster. I'm the founder of something called the Baldwin Prize. In this video, I'll tell you all about the Baldwin Prize. You're going to write a Baldwin Prize essay this year. You'll learn in this short video what the heck the Baldwin Prize is, what the Baldwin Prize essay is, what you will learn during the course of writing the essay, and what else is in it for you. So let me start with a bit of background on me before I tell you more about the Baldwin Prize. So I, like you, went to the illustrious Baltimore City College High School. I had a wonderful time there. And even more importantly, City taught me how to write. And in teaching me how to write, it taught me how to think about who and how I wanted to be in the world. Who you might want to be, I think it is a deep question and a difficult one, but I think the question is easy to understand. How you want to be in the world may be a little stranger, a little foreign to you, but how do you want to show up? How do you want to interact with other people? What are you convinced that you owe to other people? What do you want from them? And how do you get the most out of one another? How do you learn from one another? How do you even love one another? In teaching me how to write and how to think, how to recognize how I might be feeling, and how to translate that into words on a page for an audience in spoken communication like this. City did a lot for me. It changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life. And the Baldwin Prize is my way of giving back. I apologize. Usually I get to be there in person to tell you all of this, but because of City co-locating with the University of Baltimore, sharing facilities, logistically that became a little bit more difficult, but here we are. I used to be a writer, so I learned how to write at City, became an urban affairs reporter, wrote for a magazine called Urbanite, did freelance reporting that ended up in places like the Chronicle of Higher Education, worked in communications and media relations for quite some time. Today I work in finance, but the Baldwin Prize is my way of giving back to City. So whenever you see me at City, say hello. If you recognize me from this video or elsewhere, I would love to get to know you. What is the Baldwin Prize? So the Baldwin Prize is a scholarship and essay competition named after the writer and humanitarian James Baldwin. So James Baldwin was a genius. This was a man, many of you have heard of him, and if you haven't now, you know who he is. He was black, happened to be gay, living in mid 20th century America. So Baldwin was born in 1924. His 100th birthday would have been August of 2024. And actually, the Baldwin Prize played a big role in celebrating that. So Baldwin was a writer. He was black. He was gay in 20th century America, mid 20th century America, when both those things, either one alone could get you killed, depending on what you said and what you did and where you were. He was both of those things, inhabited both of those identities, and really made them his own. He was brave. He spoke the truth. He reached a point where he knew that if he didn't get out of the States and if he didn't continue to write about his condition, then he might go crazy. He spent some of his formative years in Europe. He did a lot of traveling, but most essentially for this exercise, Baldwin dared to think that what was true for him, the way the society impacted him, if he could own it and write it and put it on the page, it might heal him and it might set other people free as well. So Baldwin is my hero for that. He sold millions of books, some of them long after he died in approximately 1987. And I think that work of looking within, holding up a mirror, using your life, the truest thing you can reveal about your life, and holding that up as a mirror to other people is such a gift. And the Baldwin Prize is meant to help you do that Baldwin-esque work of telling the truth and building community around that human truth. So let's see. We're now our own 501c3 as of just several months ago. I just told you about James Baldwin. And let me say a little bit about what writing has done for me. Some of you may or may not self-identify as writers. Really, that's neither here nor there, but just know that the better you become at writing, the better you become at navigating the world. You need to know how to write for college admissions applications, for job applications, maybe to make up or break up with a loved one. Writing just comes into play. It's communications. So as a human, you need to communicate with other humans to navigate the world. This is an opportunity to learn how to do that even better. So what is the essay? I just told you what the essay is designed to do. The way the Baldwin Prize works is in the fall, I sit down with the ninth grade English teachers and come up with the prompt. In January, I present the prompt. That's what this is. In February, you have what are called writing consultations, where you get pretty individualized help developing your essay. You get help from experienced writers, sometimes one-on-one, two-on-one, three-on-one, face-to-face, or online. You have the option of doing either. In March, you submit the essay, and in April, there is an award ceremony. So let me see. I forget what I wanted to show you on this page, but we'll go here. So what are the awards? We name finalists. There's an award for Best Narration, Best Essay Involving Foreign Language Translation. There's a Judges Special Award. So to become a finalist, these are usually the top 10% as scored by a big panel of judges. Judges Special Award might not necessarily be in the top 10%, but the judges have deemed it outstanding for some other reason, so we award it there. And then the Passport Prize is something we give out some years. TBD whether we'll offer it this year, but in previous years, if you made it clear that you would like help applying for and procuring a passport, the Baldwin Prize can help do that. This is part of Baldwin's legacy, a connection of Baldwin's legacy where he traveled outside of the US to get a better view of who he was, what was happening in America, so that he could write about it clearly and effectively. So, and in each case, if you win one of these awards, you get a $100 gift card or gift certificate. Most students choose to use that on a place like Amazon.com, which is perfectly fine. But each award is worth $100, and you can win multiple awards. There have been many a year where for example, Best Essay Involving Foreign Language Translation was also a finalist, in which case those students won $200, which is great. Let's see. One thing I want to mention is that, so there are about, call it, just to use an even number, 300. There are usually more than 300 essays submitted. Each essay has to be read by at least 2 different judges, which means 600 reads. And I don't want any one judge to read any more than 7 essays. So we usually have 100 judges from about 5 different countries reading and scoring your essays, and then another 40 to 50 volunteer service writing consultants to help you in February. So there are a lot of people who love you, who are pulling for you, even though they've never met you. They just are rooting for you that much. And I want you to know how much support you have through the Baldwin Prize and elsewhere. In the Baldwin Prize, we talked about the prizes, becoming a more skilled writer and communicator, preparing for college and the work world, and getting connected to potential mentors, because some of the people you will meet, some of the other adults you will meet during the Baldwin Prize writing process would love to help you long after you submit the essay. I'll tell you about this year's prompt. What are you writing? So the prompt this year is about integrity. It says, integrity is defined as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Another definition is the state of being whole or undivided, whole and undivided. When you demonstrate integrity, you have good principles and values and act in a way that is consistent with those principles and values. The best version of yourself on the inside aligns with what you do and in many instances with how others see you. Choose someone to interview. It can be a family member, a friend, or someone else entirely. Pick someone whom you think would have a great response to the prompt. I said prompt below, but there should be prompt above. Actually, no, below. Ask your interviewee the following. Tell me about a moment when you demonstrated integrity. So, the mechanics of the essay. You are interviewing someone else. You can pick that person, doesn't matter who it is. You're asking that person to tell you about a moment when they demonstrated integrity. And this next part is very important. It's not just a moment, but you want a story from this person. So if they tell you about a particular moment, then you want to ask questions that fill in who were they and what were they doing before that moment? What was their journey to that moment, in that moment, and then perhaps a little bit after that moment. A simpler way of saying this is you want a narrative arc. You want the story to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. If it is only about a moment, if they're just holding forth on how they felt in a particular instance, that's not necessarily a story. But as a reader, you want to go on a journey with someone. So remember, a beginning, a middle, and an end. At the center of that is a particular moment, a particular happening that most likely changed, helped that person learn something about themselves, about other people, beginning, middle, end. So that's what you're going for. Let's see. The submission process. You will submit in two places. Number one is with your teacher. So I forget the wording that the 9th grade English teachers use for this assignment, but it is an assignment that is part of your curriculum at school. At least it typically is. If your teacher says otherwise, listen to your teacher. So you submit to your teacher, and you also submit through the Baldwin Prize website, which we have been viewing throughout this entire video. So you come to the Baldwin Prize website, you go to the menu up here, click participate. You scroll down, and then under submission instructions, you've seen item 3, submit your essay no later than Tuesday, March 24th at 4 p.m. Eastern. And it says a link to the registration form will be available here soon. That link will be right here, where you see this bracketed sentence. The link will be right there, and you'll submit. The form is usually on a server, on a site called HubSpot. So you click that link, you put in all the information, and you'll be good to go. So make sure you submit it both to your teacher and through the Baldwin Prize website. Let me cover a few frequently asked questions. Question 1, does it have to be an essay as opposed to a poem or a fictional story? Yes, it has to be a nonfiction essay. And the word count, the word limit is 1,000 words, so do not go over the word limit. Frequently asked question number 2, can I submit in a format other than Microsoft Word or PDF? No. Question 3, can I make up elements of the essay? So maybe the person you interviewed gave you a certain amount of material, and then you add material to it that did not actually happen. The answer is no. All of the information must be true. You have to stay true to what they told you. Now, this part is very relevant. In the instructions on the website, which are the instructions you are to follow, it says, look, someone's going to tell you a story. The way you write it down, the way you convey it to readers, you can either put it in the voice of your interviewee, so kind of an as told to account, or you can make it, hey, this is what I heard. You can put yourself in the story and go, this is what I was told, this is how it affected me, this is how I think about it. So one is first person. First person means the only voice you ever hear in the essay is the voice of the interviewee. And then third person is you're telling the story, but using quotes and or a lot of material, commentary, your commentary on what they said. So first person versus third person. And if you need more help figuring out the difference, you can talk to your teacher. Let's see. Question 4. Does the essay have to be 100% my original work? Yes. If it's not, that is called plagiarism. It has to be your work. Question 5. Whom should I interview? You can literally pick whomever you want. One wonderful thing is that most students pick a parent, often their mom, sometimes a grandparent, often their grandmother, sometimes a sibling, sometimes a friend. If I were you, this is what I would do. I would think about the person who would have the best response, the best, most interesting, fascinating response to the prompt about integrity. Because what happens is the better a story they tell, the easier your job becomes. You want to do maybe less work, right? Work smarter, not harder. Again, the better their story, the easier it is for you to convey something interesting because they did the work for you. So I would think about whom you have access to, who will give you the best story. That is also responsive to the prompt. So we covered a lot. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you at the writing consultations. Those of you who do an in-person consultation, I'll be at the school. These are February 17th and 18th. I will see you at the award ceremony, which will be virtual. I'm trying to line up a very good speaker for you. Fingers crossed. We'll see what shakes out there. That will be in April. And if you need to reach me for any reason, if you have questions, tell your English teacher you want to be in touch. I'm in touch with them on a regular basis, and they can connect you to me. I'm always happy to help. Good luck. Have fun. I hope you learn a lot, and I look forward to working with you this school year.